Hi students, in this class we are going to learn about three chapters, the beginning chapters of ancient Indian history. One is Stone Age, second one Indus Valley Civilization, third one is the Vedic Civilization. After knowing these three chapters, you will be able to understand how the human beings evolved from one phase of life to the another stage of life. We will use Indian map also wherever it is necessary and world map also required in order to understand the migration of people. Now let us start with the Stone Age. What is Stone Age? First we are starting with Stone Age. In the Stone Age, people were not living in the houses or they are not living in the urban areas how we are living today. The way the comforts we are enjoying today are not there during Stone Age. Our history starts with our ancestors. The phase of human evolution biologically evolved around 20 lakh years ago. Around 20 lakh years ago, in the human evolution, Homo erectus phase started. That means we human beings evolved from the nature. Initially, human beings were not walking straight, they were like animals. Around 20 lakh years ago, they started walking straight. And later, however, the brain capacity is not great. Around some point of time in the evolution, Homo sapien phase emerged. Homo sapien phase emerged. This means wise people, or another way, thinking people. Before the emergence of thoughts, before the emergence of Homo sapien, Homo erectus phase was there. Around 20 lakh years ago, Homo erectus started. Then, after some point of time, Homo sapiens. Around 10,000 BC, the human beings, what we are seeing today, we are calling ourselves as modern people. Modern man or modern people. Now you see the evolution of human beings. However, we do not know about these people, Homo erectus or Homo sapien, till 10,000 BC with any written records. We have to depend on archaeological evidences. Based on this, we have to categorize our history into three parts. Let us see one by one. One is prehistory. So history is generally divided into three segments. One is historic period. In historic period, we got written records. And before the initial phase was prehistoric period. Prehistoric, historic period. Here we do not have no written records. We had to depend on tools, majorly stone tools and other human remains or plant remains or any other archaeological evidences. In the Indian subcontinent, a peculiar kind of development took place, that is the emergence of Indus Valley civilization between prehistoric period and historic period. In historic period, we start Vedic period onwards, we are calling it as Vedic period, because we know information about the lifestyle of human beings through a literature called Rig Veda. Rig Veda is giving information about Vedic people, whereas later Vedic texts like Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda, Brahmanas, Upanishads, these are giving information about later Vedic people. That is the reason why we are calling Vedic period onwards as the historic period. Before the emergence of Vedic period, Indian subcontinent has seen great cities. These cities, a peculiar development took place, that is, they used a script. We are calling it as Harappan script. Unfortunately, we are not able to decipher it, not able to use this script in order to understand how people lived during Indus Valley civilization. This is the reason why we are calling this phase of history as proto-historic period. So historic period written records, prehistoric period no written records, and proto-historic period means we have script but not able to decipher it. These are the three important developments in the creation of segments of our history. Stone Age comes as part of prehistoric age. This is one of the chapters which we have to see. This is part of prehistory. This is part of proto-history. This is part of historic period. Okay, clear? Now, in Stone Age, we are starting from the evolution of human beings. Around 20 lakh years ago, Homo erectus, then Homo sapiens, wise people, around 10,000 BC onwards, modern people. In order to understand how people lived during this phase, from 20 lakh years ago to 10,000 BC, we had to depend on stone tools. Across the Indian subcontinent, we got some stone tools in different parts of the world. These areas were giving stone tools. Based on these stone tools, we are able to understand how people lived in Stone Age around this time period. Now, for our understanding, we again segregate this entire period into three parts. That is, one is Paleolithic, Stone Age, Paleolithic period, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. For our understanding purpose, we categorized into different parts. This sun period was called Neolithic. Here it is not up to 10,000, it is up to 1000 BC. Do not get confused, I am going to clarify you. Initial phase was called Paleolithic, up to 10,000 BC Paleolithic, after 10,000 BC Mesolithic, then Neolithic. Here modern people are part of Mesolithic and Neolithic. Even though these people also used stone tools, the kind of life of Paleolithic and Mesolithic, Neolithic is completely different altogether. Now up to 10,000 BC is Paleolithic. This one in the Indian context or old context from 9000 to 4000 BC. In the Indian context, it is from 8000 BC to 4000 BC is called Mesolithic. From 7000 BC to 1000 BC in the Indian subcontinent is called Neolithic. I will clarify you what is why it is 7000 and whereas Mesolithic continued till 4000. No age will move from one phase to the other phase suddenly. Because of this reason, there is a transition period from one phase to the other phase. Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Now what is the lifestyle differences among these three? We have to see. India is a very big country. Now why these kind of differences are coming? On one hand, we are saying that around 1500 BC, Vedic period started. This one, historic record, Rigvedic period from 1500 BC to 500 BC is called as Vedic period. Once again, early Vedic period, later Vedic period, for our convenience we have designed. So we are saying 1500 BC is the 1500 BC is the Vedic period. As India is a very large country, all the people did not develop at a time. In this area around 1000 BC, still people are living in Neolithic phase. In this also around 1000 BC, Neolithic people are living in the Neolithic phase. That is why in the Indian subcontinent we call from 7000 BC to 1000 BC as Neolithic, from 8000 to 4000 as called Mesolithic, and since the evolution of human beings up to 10,000 BC is called Paleolithic age. So this is clear. Now that means in different parts of the country different level of progress took place. So this is the reason why I am showing you the geography or the Indian map. In Paleolithic, first of all, let us see what kind of what is the difference in Paleolithic style and Mesolithic lifestyle and Neolithic lifestyle. Paleolithic. People were living in hunting and gathering. People were living in hunting and gathering. When it comes to the Neolithic phase, people started producing their own products, produce their own grains, that became agriculture. So agriculture is the practice that happened in Neolithic phase. In between, in Mesolithic phase, people started domestication of animals. So hunting and gathering in Paleolithic age, in Mesolithic domestication of animals, and in Neolithic agriculture. It doesn't mean that in Neolithic all of a sudden hunting and gathering stopped and domestication of animals stopped and only agriculture practiced. No. Hunting and gathering continued and domestication of animals also continued. Here hunting and gathering also continued. So this is what we have to remember. These people lived in caves, rock shelters, caves, naturally available houses. In Mesolithic, for the first time, we see some kind of housing construction, that is wattle and daub. Wattle and daub means leaves and mud. Clay and leaves are used to construct their own houses. Here also wattle and daub structures are used for living purpose. Here pottery also they prepared. Pottery, however, it is handmade. Handmade pottery. Whereas in Neolithic, wheel was invented. With this wheel made pottery was used. Now you see how the human beings are changing the lifestyle from Paleolithic to Mesolithic, Mesolithic to the Neolithic. This is how Neolithic means you have to see the age of agriculture. Mesolithic means age of domestication of animals. Paleolithic means age of hunting and gathering. Now what is the time period we have seen? The time period is, this is up to 10,000 BC. Since the evolution to 10,000 BC, then 8,000 to 4,000 BC. We will see in what areas we see this kind of development took place. This is around 7,000 BC to 1000 BC. Now let us go to this part. I am erasing this. Now Bhimbetka caves in central India, in Madhya Pradesh, there is a place called Bhimbetka. In Bhimbetka, we find Paleolithic lifestyle. In Bhimbetka and in this northwestern part of India also, we find Bhimbetka style lifestyle, Paleolithic lifestyle. And in some of the places in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh borders also, we find this kind of Paleolithic lifestyle. Now when it comes to the Neolithic, in Rajasthan area, in Madhya Pradesh area, and in the borders between Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, there is a valley called Belan Valley. Initially, people were living in mountainous region because they need houses, that means rock shelters. Here is the reason we will see Bhimbetka rock shelters. Because these rock shelters are giving security and safety for the people, they lived here for many generations. And in the Bhimbetka, they even continued to Mesolithic as well. Mesolithic phase also people lived. That means people continued the lifestyle from Paleolithic stage to the Neolithic stage. There is another place nearby Bhimbetka, that is Adamgarh. This is Mesolithic age. One characteristic of how we find through archaeological evidences that this is Paleolithic and this is Mesolithic means stone tools. Here, large stone tools were used. Mesolithic is known for microliths. So, large stone tools of Paleolithic. Mesolithic means microliths. Here, different polished stone tools. Based on these tools, we are able to understand that which location is Paleolithic, which location is Mesolithic, and which location is Neolithic. There is a place called Bhagor, another place Bhagor. In Belan Valley, different places are there like Chopani Mando. In Belan Valley, Sarai Narhar Rai, Chopani Mando are some of the places where Mesolithic lifestyle is discovered. Now this is up to Paleo and Meso. Altogether in Neolithic, I am erasing this. In Neolithic, different parts of the country have seen agriculture. Neolithic means agriculture. So far only hunting, gathering and domestication of animals only. For the first time they started practicing agriculture. Around 7000 BC in a place called Mehergarh. For the first time, agriculture settlement took place. This is also the first village settlement in the Indian subcontinent. Because agriculture needs people should stay in a particular location for a very long time. Many people started locating in the same place, villages developed. In Jammu and Kashmir region also, in a place called Burjahom. This is the question in 2021 prelims also. It is also a place of Neolithic. Here people lived in pit dwellings. That means people dig out the ground and inside the pit they created a house structure and they started living. Probably this area is very cold region, maybe because of it they started living in pit dwellings. In this place, this is around 2700 BC onwards. Around 2000 to 1000 BC, in a place called Davojili Heading, Neolithic agricultural settlements were discovered. Mostly in South India, around 3000 BC to 1000 BC, you will find a lot of Neolithic settlements. Neolithic settlements. Here, people started practicing agriculture around 3000 BC. Now you see, around 7000 BC, one area started agriculture, around 3000, another area started agriculture. This is the reason we have to say Neolithic means 7000 to 1000 BC. Agriculture practiced in different parts of the country around this time period. It's clear? Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Neolithic means agriculture. This is the difference. From hunting stage to domestication of animals, from domestication of animals to the agriculture practice. So far only stone tools were used. Gradually metal also started using. This metal we are calling it as the age where metal is used called Chalcolithic age. Metal, first used metal was copper. This copper we are calling the age is called Chalcolithic. Chalco means copper, lithic means stone. So combination of metal, copper and stone is used in some areas. Because of this reason, we are calling these particular sites are part of Chalcolithic phase. In case of Indian subcontinent, in some places like Ahar, Gilund, Balatal, here copper was used. In Malwa regions also copper was used. In Jorvi, Daimabad, in Maharashtra region also we are calling it as Jorvi culture, Ahar culture. These areas were having copper as the main tool. Along with the stone tools, they used copper also for the lifestyle. Once again, agriculture practicing, pottery making, wattle and daub houses continuing. Only additional development from Neolithic phase is the usage of metal, that is copper. Because of this reason, it is called Chalcolithic age or Chalcolithic sites. So in this we have seen Paleolithic sites, Mesolithic, Neolithic and Chalcolithic as a separate development due to usage of metal. So this is about Stone Age. Now we are moving to the Indus Valley civilization. Briefly, Stone Age, around 20 lakh years ago, people started walking straight, and in the progress of human evolution, people started using their brain. Homo sapiens, that phase is called Homo sapien phase, thinking people, and Paleolithic age continued till 10,000 BC. And one more subcategories may come within Paleolithic. This is Lower Paleolithic, this is Middle Paleolithic and Upper Paleolithic. This is another category within Paleolithic because the time period of Paleolithic age is very large. This we are calling it as Upper Paleolithic. This we are calling it as Middle Paleolithic. This is Lower Paleolithic. Once again, Paleolithic is divided into three parts. Around 20 lakh years ago onwards till 1 lakh years ago. 1 lakh years ago it is Lower Paleolithic. Around 40,000 BC till 40,000 BC Middle Paleolithic, and up to 10,000 BC it is Upper Paleolithic. Only difference is all are using stone tools. Only difference, like we have seen in case of paleo, large stone tools, in case of meso, microliths, small tools, and neolithic, polished stone tools. Likewise, there are some differences within paleolithic phase itself. Here once again, large tools. In middle paleolithic, they started breaking these large and they became flakes. Flakes means they have broken the large stones and the remnants of the stone are called flakes. With this they created blades kind of tools, blades, pointers, burins, like that. Burins means a modern kind of screwdriver. Then in the upper paleolithic, they started giving some more reformation or refinement. Mainly they used flint technology. Flint technology means these kind of rocks are used for fire, for easily creating fire. So that kind of technology was used, but all are related to stone tools only. The size of stone tools reduced further in Mesolithic. That is why Mesolithic is also called microlithic age. Paleolithic, within Paleolithic, three important areas. Now we have seen different Paleolithic ages. Then what is prehistory, protohistory, historic, the differences in lifestyle, subsistence pattern. This is the transition of subsistence pattern in case of Stone Age. Here question can be asked, write about the change in subsistence pattern from Paleolithic age to the Neolithic age. This is the main question that can be asked or we can write for practice purpose. Here hunting and gathering, one is domestication, another one is agriculture. When it comes to the geographical distribution, this is the geographic distribution. Different parts of the country is having different time periods of evolution. So this is about prehistoric period. Now we are moving into the Indus Valley. Now we are moving into the Indus Valley civilization. In Indus Valley civilization, it is a very peculiar kind of development in the Indian subcontinent. Let us see here how. Here we have seen so far different kinds of settlements. Farming cultures means Neolithic settlements. Now, what is the geographic location of Indus Valley civilization? This is northwestern part of India. Around 2500 BC, some of the settlements in this location evolved from villages to urban areas. Villages to urban areas. In Neolithic, we have seen that in 7000 BC, in a place called Mehergarh, first village settlement evolved. Mehergarh is located in this location. Around 7000. Now you see from 7000 to 2500 BC means lot of time already gone. Now around this time period, in over a period of millions of years, these villages gradually developed into urban areas. Like Mehergarh, many other areas like Kilegul Muhammad, and in different parts of the country, different parts of northwestern part, you find many village settlements. Now gradually these villages developed into urban areas. That is why in Indus Valley civilization, we again divide the timeline into three parts. One is pre-Harappan, second one mature Harappan, third one is the late Harappan. Why this difference? Pre-Harappan means village type of characteristics. Mature Harappan means urban, completely urban areas. Here it is a transition to rural to urban transition. In late Harappan, once again, these cities are not going to be vanished altogether. Only they are going to be declined from urban phase to the rural phase. Transition. Mature means complete urbanized areas. Late Harappan means urban to rural areas. Three important developments took place in the evolution of Indus Valley civilization. Why we are calling it as Harappan civilization? Because there is a town called Harappa. For the first time, it was discovered in this location, and after some time period, many other sites also discovered on the same pattern like Harappa. Because of this reason, and also most of these settlements are found along the Indus Valley zone. That is the reason why it is also called Indus Valley civilization, or with the first settlement, that is Harappan civilization, first discovered site, that is Harappan. It can be called with two names, Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization. But more often we use Harappan civilization, not Indus Valley civilization. Reason being, Indus Valley civilization means all settlements should have used Indus as the base, and all settlements should be there just nearby Indus zone. Whereas in this Harappan civilization, we find settlements near Delhi also. Now you can see the far away regions from Indus Valley also showing the characteristics of urban features. And in Jammu and Kashmir, and in Maharashtra also, in Makaran coast in the west also, in this kind of, now I am erasing this, here, and here, in far away locations also we found the characteristics of Indus Valley characteristics. That is why mostly we use Harappan civilization based on the first discovered site, Harappan civilization. But however, initially the name was given Indus Valley civilization. We are using commonly and synonymously both Indus Valley zone, Indus Valley civilization, or Harappan civilization. These are the northernmost. This is Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. This is Alamgirpur. This is Daimabad. This is Sudgajendar. Westernmost, easternmost, northernmost, and southernmost. Now you observe, we are calling these are, some of them are late Harappan, some of them are pre-Harappan. For example, Daimabad, the settlements here late Harappan. Now we'll see, late Harappan means the time period from 3500 BC to 2500 BC is called pre-Harappan. Then around 2500 BC to 1750 BC mature Harappan, and after 1750 BC to 1300 BC we are calling it as late Harappan. All these phases are showing gradual evolution from village to the urban areas. So this is the reason. After mature phase also, some settlements showed the characteristics of Indus Valley zone. This is the boundary, northern, southern, eastern and western boundaries. Different periods. Pre-Harappan means villages entered into urban phase. Mature means urban settlements. Late Harappan means once again these urban areas gradually declined and became rural areas once again. Around this time period, around 1500 BC, a new kinds of people entered in the Indian subcontinent. 1500 means it is late Harappan period. Around this time period, a new section of people, we are calling it as Vedic people. Through Rigveda, we know about these people. In Rigveda, these people called them as Aryans. In Rigvedic texts, Vedic people used the term Aryan, Arya for the people. Hence, these people were also called Aryans, Aryan civilization or Vedic civilization. Now, is it clear? Now we are entering into the Vedic phase. There are so many details within Harappan period that we see now. Just to give you the continuity, how this Harappan civilization gave way to Vedic civilization. Now we see some of the special characteristics of Indus Valley civilization. Features of Indus Valley. Features of Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization. Before the emergence of Vedic people, these people lived in urban areas. We are concerned here about mature period, mature urban phase, 2500 BC to 1750 BC. During this time period, these areas have given a special kind of features. They are urban, cities. Second one, detailed planning. Cities did not develop haphazard manner. Planned cities were emerged. Now, drainage pattern. Proper systematic drainage was maintained in the houses. Water management. In case of dry areas, water management also properly maintained. This is with respect to architecture and infrastructure. When it comes to the culture, these people are educated people. Therefore, we discovered script in these locations. In these locations means, here I am erasing this. In these locations means in these areas. Some of the important cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lohdal, Chanhudaro. 6 important cities: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhudaro, Kalibangan, Dholavira, Banawali. Such kind of many areas, cities were there. However, all the areas did not develop into urban phase. These are main important urban areas. In these areas, we find planned development, drainage system, water management. Educated people script is also discovered from this location. And also, economically, these people were mainly traders. They were trading with other part of the world. They were trading with Afghanistan region, Mesopotamian region, through ocean and through land also. They were doing trade with other parts of the world. Along with agriculture. They were producing agriculture also, and along with they traded with other countries, both internally and externally also they traded. They used to bring raw materials. For example, copper, lapis lazuli, they used to bring from other places. There is a place called Ganeshwar. There is a place called Ganeshwar in Rajasthan area. This is a Chalcolithic area. One significant aspect about this one, the technology wise, they were using bronze technology. Now you see, previously copper technology was there. These people were very advanced in nature. They mixed copper with the tin. This combination gave more stronger material, that is bronze. However, copper had to be procured from different locations. Tin had to be procured from different location. This copper mainly came from Ganeshwar to these Harappan areas. Ganeshwar, this is also important question in 2021 IAS exam. Tin was mainly came from Afghanistan region. You can see this shows that they are very strongly networked people. Metal they are bringing from one location, copper was from one location, tin was another location, and they have created their own metal, that is bronze, by mixing tin and copper. This shows the advanced nature of Harappan people in terms of technology. Religion wise also, for the first time, religion also we see Proto Shiva. Amulets also are seen. Religion wise also, amulets means diseases or evils. In order to ward off evils and diseases, they were using amulets. These are the practices later entered into the Indian civilization in Vedic period, then Mahajanapada period, then and so on, Mauryan and post-Mauryan. Some of these ideas entered into the next level of civilization as well. Then Mother Goddess. We find through seals. For the trader, these people are traders, they were using seals. These seals were used in order to transport goods safely from one place to the another place. On these seals, Proto Shiva images were already printed on these seals. They know different animals, animal worship also there, tree worship. Now you can see the religion, whatever the foundation of these religious beliefs entered into the next phase of life. Even till today, we are following these practices which Harappans and Indus Valley people already practiced. This is how, this is continuity of Harappan culture. So here there is a question like, civilization ended. Civilization ended, but culture continued. It is the main question. It can be asked. Civilization ended, whereas culture continued from the ancient Indus Valley civilization. Civilization means urban areas, urban features, trade networks, script, educated people like script, using script, literary. All these features vanished. However, culture continued. So this is how the housing structures and beliefs and culture continued in the later phases. Here you have to see this way. Under these circumstances, new kind of people around 1500 BC they came. However, by this time period, Indus Valley cities already declined. Now we will see how the decline of Indus Valley civilization. There are many theories. What is the time period? Around 2500 BC to 1750 is the mature period. During this time period, urban features were seen. However, 1750 BC onwards, now once again rural areas came. Now they declined. What was the reason? Different historians tried to give different interpretations. Some said because of earthquake. Because of earthquake, this civilization vanished. And another, there was a huge explosion, chemical explosion. Because of this, civilization ended. There was continuous floods and droughts. Because of this, civilization ended. And there is another theory that Aryan invasion. That means new set of people called Aryans, they invaded these areas and destroyed the urban areas and once again started rural life. These individually, earthquake alone cannot destroy. Floods, explosion cannot destroy such a big civilization. Aryan civil invasion also cannot be accepted because when they entered into Indian subcontinent, already these cities were declined. This is the reason that Aryan invasion theory cannot be accepted. Whereas earthquake, there are some evidences. For example, in Kalibangan, there is a evidence of earthquake. However, earthquake cannot destroy altogether. So, natural ecological causes are taken as the reason for declining of Indus Valley civilization. Ecological means, now you see, from 7000 BC onwards, first villages entered. Now 7000 BC onwards, many villages developed across Indus Valley. By 1750, already these plains, Indus plains, were utilized more. Fertility is reduced. For million of years, they used the same land. Fertility reduced, and also raining pattern also changed over a time period. Now rivers also changed their courses. In some areas floods occurred, in some areas droughts occurred. Some areas more abundant water, some areas no water at all. Now these people had to move to safe areas. This is why they shifted from core area to neighboring areas in Gujarat, in Maharashtra, in Malwa. These people were called late Harappan. So, like I said, civilization ended whereas culture continued. The people who moved away from the core zone to the peripheries, they left civilization angle there itself. However, they take the culture along with them and spread this culture in other areas. This is the reason why we are calling late Harappans. Some of the cultures of mature Harappans continued. They have spread to the new areas. These people were called late Harappan, and some of the religious beliefs still we are seeing. This is how decline of Indus Valley civilization. So Indus Valley civilization, emergence of civilization. Before Indus Valley civilization, Neolithic settlements were there, gradually turned into urban areas. Now once again urban areas entered into rural phase, whereas now this time period copper was already used. Before emergence of Indus Valley civilization, stone tools were used. Hence we categorized that section as Neolithic. After Indus Valley civilization, now copper is already known to them. They used stone tools along with the copper. We are calling them as Chalcolithic settlements. For example, here Jorvi culture. Now I am erasing this. The ideas taken to different areas, Ahar, Gilund, then Malwa culture, Jorvi culture. So different areas they shifted and they moved. New Chalcolithic settlements emerged. Ahar, Gilund, Balatal here, Kayata, Naudatoli, Malwa, here Jorvi, Daimabad, Yenamgaon, such kind of Chalcolithic settlements also emerged. Now clear? Initially people were living with a primitive lifestyle, hunting and gathering. In Mesolithic, domestication of animals. When it comes to the Neolithic, agriculture practiced, however technology wise only stone tools. Gradually this gave emergence of cities. These people, copper was used and tin was used to create a new strong metal, that is bronze metal. They got very strong network into different areas. With this they created a large structures. After some time, once again due to ecological reasons, they could not sustain the urban lifestyle because the rural areas agriculture was affected by changing river courses due to floods and droughts. Now they had to move from cities to the rural areas. While moving from cities to rural areas, they left the civilized aspect behind. However, they took culture aspect along with them and spread this culture in other areas. Now that is how it spread to different parts of the country. After Indus Valley civilization, after mature phase, Chalcolithic settlements were there. Around this time period, in northwestern part of India, Vedic people, Vedic civilization also started around 1500 BC. These settlements also we see from 2000 BC to 700 BC. Around this time period, in different locations, different Chalcolithic settlements emerged. On one hand, Chalcolithic, on the northern northwestern part of India, Vedic civilization emerged. Clear? Now we have seen so far Paleolithic, then Neolithic, before it Mesolithic, then how Neolithic lifestyle gave rise to the civilizations, that is Indus Valley civilization. Once again this civilization declined. Now once again rural kind of architecture or rural settlements we are going to see. Now here we are moving into the Vedic. Vedic period. Now Vedic period, we will take a map. See here, around 1500 BC, they came to this part. One theory from where they came to Indian subcontinent. According to one theory, there were some people in Central Asian steppes, and these people gradually moved to Europe. Some people came towards Iran, West Asia. Once again they merged and entered into Indian subcontinent around 1500 BC. So this is the mostly accepted theory. Different people tried to give different interpretations. Like some people said, for example, Balagangadhar Tilak during freedom struggle, he said Aryans came from Arctic region. Some tried to say that Aryans did not come from outside, whereas these people are indigenously came and these Aryans entered into Europe. This kind of theory is discarded. Mostly accepted theory is that there were people in steppes, Central Asia. From Central Asia, there were continuous migrations. One branch went to Europe, another branch to Iran, another branch to India or Iran, and some branches merged together and came towards India. Even if you see the term Iran, the country Iran, this name also shows that Iran. From the term Iran, Aryan, the modern name Iran emerged. This kind of combinations, this kind of language, there were some kind of commonalities with Indian languages like Sanskrit, and from Sanskrit, Hindi, North Indian languages like Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, such kind of languages emerged. In Europe also, Latin, Greek, and other modern English, these kind of languages emerged. Scholars, they tried to find affinity between these languages, and in West Asian language, European languages, and Indian languages, they categorized it as Indo-European languages. Indo-European language. They found some kind of commonality between European languages and Indian languages. Based on this affinity, they brought out a theory that both Europeans and Indians somewhere they had a common ancestry. The initial speakers of the people, the ancestors, they spoke Indo-European language. One branch they went to Europe and gave rise to European languages. Another one branch came towards India. This gave rise to Indian languages. Based on this theory that Europeans and Indians had a common ancestry. Now this is clear. Around 1500 BC, these people entered Indian subcontinent. By this time period, Indus Valley people also, the urban areas declined by 1750 BC itself. Now in these areas, only rural settlements were there. Already rural settlements, some of these people migrated to another areas as well. These were also having rural settlements. Now these Vedic people also rural settlements. Now once again you see the urban phase completely vanished. For the first time in our Indian history, the Indus Valley civilization phase is called first urbanization. For the first time in the subcontinent emerged. After thousands of years, around 600 BC, once again cities emerged, that we are calling it as second urbanization. 600 BC means around 1500 to 1000 BC is the early Vedic period. From 1000 BC to 600 BC, these Vedic people entered into Gangetic plain. This we are calling it as later Vedic period. After later Vedic period, Mahajanapada period started. During Mahajanapada period, urbanization once again came, that we are calling it as second urbanization. So this is about urban areas. Now we are fully focusing on what is the lifestyle of Vedic people. I am erasing this. Now around 1500 to 1000 BC, we are calling it as early Vedic period. The Vedic period, once again we divided into two parts. 1500 BC to 1000 BC. From 1000 BC to 500 BC. This is early Vedic period. This is later Vedic period. Clear? Now in early Vedic period, the geographic location is northwestern part of India. Whereas in the later Vedic period, Gangetic plain is the geographic location. Here it is. In early Vedic period, northwestern part, mainly Sapta Sindhu. Sapta Sindhu means Sindhu river and its tributaries. This was the area. Whereas in case of later Vedic people, Gangetic plain, Ganga Yamuna Doab became the home for later Vedic people. Now here we know about the early Vedic people from a text called Rig Veda. Here Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. After Rig Veda, 3 more Vedas were added, compiled. This time period, Rig Veda, around when they came to Ganga Yamuna Doab, 3 more Vedas they created. Along with that, Brahmanas, Upanishads, this kind of philosophies text also emerged in the later Vedic period. We know about these people from these sources. This is the reason we are getting some kind of literary sources to know about the people. We are categorizing this phase of life as historic phase. Sapta Sindhu river, Rig Veda, Gangetic plain, and Sama, Yajur, Atharva Veda and other later Vedic texts also compiled. Based on these sources, we are trying to understand what kind of life they were living in. Now we will try to compare this. In early Vedic period, now we will try to compare on both sides. in early Vedic period. This is later Vedic period. Initially, these people migrated from different parts of the world. These people were nomadic people. Nomadic people, semi-rural areas, semi-settlements or village settlements you can say. However, they used to move one place to the another place in search of cattle, food. So for fodder they used to go from one place to the other place and they'll come back to the original place. Gradually they used to move to different locations. In this place, this is village settlements, proper village settlements. Here these people have given the importance to Jana. Jana means tribe, people. Here when it comes to this location, now they have seen the importance of Gangetic Plain. They need not to move from one place to the other place regularly. In case of steppes, they did not get the food for them and food for the cattle. They moved from one location to the other location in search of food. Whereas in Ganga Yamuna plain, these people are able to produce the agriculture. Now they got abundant resources to settle in a particular location. So village settlements. Here the term Janapada became important. Janapada means territory. Here Jana means tribe, Janapada means territory. This is when it comes to the people. Now these people also egalitarian, means all are equal. Initially all people were having equal status, there is no privilege, egalitarian in outlook. This is the reason why during freedom struggle Dayananda Saraswati used to say, go back to Vedas. Go back to Vedas. This means the kind of life early Vedic people enjoyed was more or less egalitarian. Now here women also allowed in public places. Some of these women have written even some of the Samhitas in Rigveda. When it comes to political system, polity, here the head of the tribe used to lead in the battles, because during this time period they used to fight for cattle. Here they used to fight for territory. There was no standing army also in early Vedic period. The taxation also a voluntary one, that is called Bali tax. It was a voluntary one. People used to give to the head of the tribe, and tribe used this voluntary tax to protect the tribe. Whereas in this case, now a kind of state organizations emerged. Here Rajan, here also Rajan, Senapati, Purohit were there, but these people were not rigid people, they were egalitarian, open people. Whereas when it comes to later Vedic period, now society divided into 4 segregations: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. You see, the society also here egalitarian. Tribes, people were given importance. Women were also allowed open public places. When it comes to here, society got divided into 4 parts, 4 segments: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And these Kshatriyas became hereditary. They became the successors of the existing states. Now within the state, if you take a particular Janapada, in that Janapada, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra segments of society. Now women are also limited to houses only. During this time period, when it comes to polity, some kind of Sabha, assemblies, some kind of checks and balances were there on the head of the tribe. Sabha, Samiti, Vidata, such kind of assemblies were there. When it comes to later Vedic period, now Vidata kind of thing are disappeared. Sabha, Samiti power also reduced gradually. They declined, and the Kshatriya or the ruler became very powerful. Standing army also, they tried to create rudimentary standing army. Now gradually these Janapadas gave rise to Mahajanapadas by 600 BC. By 600 BC, these Janapadas turned gradually into Mahajanapadas. This is how the emergence of Mahajanapadas came. In the early Vedic period, tribal character, whereas in a later Vedic period, the society divided into 4 parts and Kshatriyas became very powerful, Brahmanas became powerful, Vaishyas and Shudras were given the producing activities like agriculture, slave, servants. These kind of posts were allocated for Vaishyas and Shudras. The reason for this is the ideas of religion. The ideas of religion changed when it comes to here the religion ideas also changed. During this time period, nature was their main enemy. They started personification of nature. During this time period, gods like Indra, Agni, Varuna are important gods. In Rigveda, in early Vedic period, Rigveda is the source. In Rigveda, 250 hymns, they are mainly prayers for the gods. 250 poems or hymns were dedicated for Indra. Agni 200 and Varuna and other also very limited. Here there was a god called Vishnu and Rudra. For Vishnu only 5 hymns. Rudra was a minor god. When it comes to later Vedic period, the importance of Indra, Agni, Varuna reduced. Vishnu, Rudra became more powerful. Now Prajapati, gods like Prajapati, Vishnu, Shiva became 3 important gods in the later Vedic period. Prajapati means Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So trinity of God evolved. And according to these religious beliefs, now according to them, Brahma created the universe, Vishnu protected the universe, and Shiva destroys and recreates the universe. So this is the kind of philosophical ideas, and according to this, from Prajapati, different sections of people emerged. That is why Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They have divided entire society into 4 parts and different sections of people assigned different activities. So these are the religious beliefs. This is the society wise. Initially tribal people, not settled in a particular place, moving from one place to the other place, nomadic lifestyle. When it comes to later Vedic period, this early Vedic period is from 1500 to 1000 BC. Here from 1000 BC to 500 BC. This is the time period where we find the epics like Mahabharata, Ramayana. Epics also emerged during later Vedic period. In early Vedic period, only text was Rigveda. When it comes to later Vedic period, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda, Mahabharata, Ramayana, epics, and these kind of Brahmanas, Upanishads, all these kinds of developed. Now when the society was churning, these people, Vaishyas and Shudras, they were not happy because by birth some people were enjoying privileges, some people were not able to enjoy the privileges. These 2 sections are working hard, whereas the other top 2 sections are enjoying over the hard work of bottom 2 Varnas. This concept became called Varna. This is Varna system. In the early Vedic period, the term Varna was used in the case of color. Now you see, around 1500 BC, they came here. These people were, the complexion of the body color is different. Already when before Vedic people came, already people were there. Later Harappan people, later Indus Valley people are already there. The complexion color of these people was different, and Vedic people color is different. They called themselves as Aryan. So now Aryan color is different. Other people, non-Aryans, color is different. In this context, Varna was used initially in the early Vedic period. When it comes to the later Vedic period, they broadly applied this concept to Varna, and they started segregating the society into 4 segments: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Different Varnas emerged in the society. Shudra, for the first time in the later edition, it seems, in Rigvedic itself, the term Shudra appeared in the 10th mandala, and Shudra concept became very rigid in later Vedic period. So in early Vedic period, the society was egalitarian. People can take up any profession, whereas in later Vedic period, by birth itself, professions of segments of people were assigned. Around this time period, 600 BC, this is the reason why there was some kind of reformatory in order to remove the evils in the society. New reformers like Mahavira, Buddha, they preached once again the principles of egalitarianism, equality. Within Vedic text itself, Upanishads started questioning the existing social practices. Because around this time period, Kshatriyas were, in order to gain more power, they used to perform a lot of sacrifices. Brahmanas prescribed a lot of sacrifices for households as well. In order to sacrifice, animal wealth is getting degenerated or vanishing. Now, peace and non-violence concepts evolved in the form of Jainism and Buddhism. This is the reason why there was a need for religious reformation in 6th century BC. So this is gradually we are moving from Vedic period to Mahajanapada period. In next class we will continue from Mahajanapada period onwards. Later Mahajanapadas, then 16 Mahajanapadas, Jainism, Buddhism and Mauryan period. We will enter into Mauryan period. In this class we have seen Stone Age, prehistory we call. Indus Valley means proto-history. Vedic period means history. In Stone Age, we have seen how Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age and Neolithic Age, the time periods, the differences, hunting and gathering in Paleolithic, domestication in Mesolithic, agriculture in Neolithic. This is the broad differences. Now gradually Neolithic gave rise to the usage of copper. Such kind of settlements were called Chalcolithic settlements. Now in these Chalcolithic settlements, one of the exemplary example of Chalcolithic is Indus Valley. Indus Valley civilization is an example of Chalcolithic phase because Indus Valley people were using copper. Now this copper and tin combination rise to the Bronze civilization, Indus Valley civilization. After Indus Valley civilization, the characteristics we have seen important urban features of Indus Valley people. Gradually they declined. When they were declined, a new set of people entered Indian subcontinent. They are called Aryans, and Aryans we have seen two sections. One is early Vedic period, another one is later Vedic period. Now we have seen how the society transformed from early Vedic period to the later Vedic period. How polity transformed from early Vedic period to the later Vedic period. So this is about from Stone Age, Indus Valley and Vedic period. In next class, we will continue from Mahajanapada period.